Alrighty, everyone, we are going live, and I will be showing you the books. Let me maybe change my position. Maybe I can just go to the sofa. Although I like working on the floor, but let me just go to the sofa. Maybe it'll be a nicer overall look. But I'll show you the books for today. We are going to go through the X-Men storylines, and this was actually very of course, X-Men are, I guess they're still popular. I'm not sure, but in the 90s, for sure, they had a lot of hype. We used to get lots of video games, and this book was released in 1992. I'm trying to pull it out from there. Yeah, 1992. This book came out. This was actually quite an interesting storyline because this is the one in which Professor X gets shot. Now, that story, for those of you who watched the X-Men animated show, was it in that? No, it was not in that. But well, anyways, in this story, the professor does get shot quite badly, actually, almost fatally. He pretty much has a hole on his chest, and Cable is basically blamed for that murder. And I will show you what that actually went like. Now, I have these books, or the entire collection, and they actually came in special packaging. It was called the Executioner's Song packaging, and it did come with trading cards. So I do have trading cards with each of these books. I've actually pulled them out of the packing so that I can show you what it looks like. But maybe later I'll show you what the polybags look like as well. But right from the cover, let's go. Let's start off. So we've got a very cool looking cover with Cable standing over the body of a shot Professor X. Although it's kind of interesting, like, where are his legs going? I mean, did he, like, let's say he shot him, did he have to, like, step over his body to be very... Anyways, but the thing is, the cover certainly looks very, very cool. And then you've got all these papers hanging, flying all over the place. Okay, so you can obviously see this was the era of the Sega Genesis. Oh, they're advertising their 16-bit cartridges, and the Game Genie works its power on the Sega. Okay, so that's very good. All right, now let's just go back to the book, and it does have the trading card. So let me pull that out. I kept it in the first page, but this is what the trading card looks like. Okay, it's actually very interesting. What how they've done is that they've actually sort of marketed it as a is it Eggs Strife's strike file. Okay, this is his strike file, and there's either a prey and I think there's an ally or something. I'm not sure, but let me show you what this looks like. It's a pretty nice looking trading card, and we've got some basic information on the character itself. It's almost like a dialogue, actually. What will it be then, Charles? Are you to be the caring grandfather, rocking your charges with gentility and ease? Rocking. Okay, that's interesting. The soft-minded senile. Hey, Sophia. How you doing? Martin, this one would be old. You'll find them in the 90s. Check what this guy is saying. He says, I am the trigger, Charles. The hatred which links your dream to my nightmare is the fuse. And with your death, the match has been struck. Now, let the ensuing explosion rock both heaven and hell, both yesterday and tomorrow. So he's actually referring to basically the future, present, and past. Safia, I'm doing good. How are things with you? Hopefully you're having a nice Sunday. I certainly am. Now let's just go through the book itself, okay? So a lot of great 90s colors, and the illustrations are very nice. The colors at that time were very straightforward. They didn't have too many graphic capabilities, I suppose, with the printing. I do not know, I'm not a printing expert. But they're very straightforward colors. Okay, so at this point of the storyline, Cable is already introduced, and we sort of know a little bit about him. But what happens is that where are you from? Let me know. While I'll keep taking a look at my chat box as well. But Sophia, where are you located? You can just specify down to the continent. You don't have to tell me which city if you don't want to. That's okay. But the X-Men are out on a mission. Things are happening with the X-Force, and then what happens is that let's see if we get to that point where he gets shot. Does he get shot in this one? Yes, he does. Oh wait, or unless he's already shot. Let me go back a little bit. There, yeah, so he's about to get shot actually. Professor X. Where is that? There it is. That's the shooting scene right over there. He gets shot. You can see he's all bloody. His eyes are gone up. Holy, someone shot the professor. Not just anyone, pal. The name is Cable. But the world will know me as the man who saved tomorrow. Okay, whatever. So at this point, Xavier is shot, and so then they all start to chase Cable, and this is X-Force over here. Cable is actually leading X-Force, so they're also like, wait a second, what happened? And now suddenly the X-Men and the other law enforcement, they're after the X-Force as well, because they apparently know. Hey, have a good one, Sophia. We'll catch you next time. All right, so there's this book. I'm gonna move on to issue number 2 now. Bye to you too. We'll miss you. Okay, let's go to book number 2. All right, the story continues in X Factor issue number 84, part 2. So they actually did have, it's interesting that they actually show triangle numbers, because this is something that was very common with DC at the time. We'll see you next time, Sophia. Oh, let me just go straight into the card first. So this is what the card looks like. Okay, so he's the hunter. Caliban is the hunter. He's not the prey. And then he is basically my blind hound dog, unleashed into the darkness of his very despair. So desperate to gain the approval of his many masters is my stumbling retriever, that he would naively bite the hand that feeds him, as well as those which discipline him. What is to become of this gentle soul, torn asunder by his overwhelming need for... So I'm not going to read all of it, but it's kind of interesting, the sort of language they use over here. It's almost like poetic, philosophical, and yet it is Strife who's actually narrating this what's in the back of this card. Okay, so in now the story runs into X Factor, and what is happening here is, as I said, the X Factor group is being chased by the X-Men and some of the law enforcement as well, because they believe that they believe that they may know the location of Cable. And here you can see a rather interesting shot of Professor X, although I'm not seeing any of those wounds over there, so not sure what's up with that. But the art is very extreme, and I guess this is why it was known as the Extreme 90s. So we're getting to see some of that. Very nice illustrations. I like the shadow work. You don't see this sort of stuff now anymore, I think. Unless this artist still... I think this artist still draws. I don't know. But their expressions are extreme, very exaggerated expressions, where their bites and their screamings and their anger and the way they're squinting, it's all rather good. But anyways, there you can see a shot of the professor. He's been put into a recovery sort of a chamber. They don't know if it'll help him or not, but they're certainly trying. Okay, and of course at that time you had some really nice looking illustrations. These are Marvel trading cards. So you've got a very interesting, rather feral version of Wolverine, and then you've got Mephisto. So there's that. All right. So let me put this card in it now, and let me go on to book number 3. I'll pack these books once I'm done with the story now. So let's pull the third book, which is this one right over here. So it's interesting that they actually pull in Apocalypse, but Andy Kubert is the artist. Andy Kubert, I do like. I also like this little, this little piece on the 30th anniversary of the Amazing Spider-Man. That's pretty cool. Let me pull out now. These books, I've tried to keep them in very good condition, so very few wrinkles. I mean, just for the because I like keeping good care of them. Okay. Oops, sorry, that was upside down. Prey, Apocalypse. So this was actually interesting that Strife in his file considered him to be the prey. Right, it will be a river of blood which spills between his master of the forever past, and it will be your ancient concealed dry caked ichor, I'm not sure, which will splatter the landscape like dry heat washing me down in its dusty. Oh my god, it's almost kind of like Shakespearean, but it's funny how they used to write some of these dialogues at the time. Okay, but here's to the story. I think what they're doing is I have to sort of you know what, once I'm done with this live stream, I'm probably going to go and read this book just to enjoy it again. But then I've sort of, I think I've forgotten a little bit about the story, but I'll read it again. But Andy Cupid, he's a pretty cool artist. I mean, I will say that his poses and the angles that he does, they're kind of nice. Very macho though. So a lot of his the way he draws his guys are very macho. So I like that stuff as well. I mean, look at this. Look at this shot of Bishop. Isn't that kind of cool? Right? It's kind of cool. And then you've got this little, sorry, I had to go mute there for a minute. And then we have another shot of Bishop charging. So it's a very macho looking art of that time. And, you know, the way they're screaming and the way they're talking, they're pretty cool. Anyways, I think they're in this book, they're really just trying to find some clues to finding Cable. And I think by this time they actually do run into X-Force, I think, sorry. If that's the choice you want to make, X-Force is more than ready to give you one. Okay, so and this look, check this out. X versus X, Bishop versus Sinister, Cyclops and Jean discovered a startling secret. Execution Song continues in X-Force number 16. So that was book 3. Let me just put this card back. And I'm going to move on to book number 4. So let's pull book number 4 now. Here's book number 4. So this is book number 4. X-Force. Obviously, by the cover it's informing that it's the X-Men versus X-Force. You've got the advertisements for those trading cards again. Marvel masterpieces. I think some of these trading cards were very nice at the time. But speaking of trading cards, we do have a trading card in here. So where are we? Okay, this is actually a really nice trading card. Cable. The illustration of Cable looks really cool over there. And of course you'd have Strife talking to Cable in his melodramatic, "Play the game with me one last time, mirror friend. Run through time with me in a race against the repetition of sins we've endured and caused over and over again. See my reflection, mirror foe. Look at your face staring at you with scars carved in pain and hopelessness." Oh my god, seriously. Sneer as the glint of metal catches your eye and ask yourself, what are you fighting for? Humanity? Mutants? Tomorrow, today, all illusions, as you all people know. There is only hatred to fuel us, hatred to consume us, hatred to engulf us. Walk in the fire with me, Nathan. Let us burn together. Wow. That is, it's interesting, I swear. But that was the way things were written back then, so why not? All right, so in this issue, you'll see a battle happening between the X Force and the X Men, student versus teacher, friend versus friend. It's all kind of interesting. A lot of drama, but at the same time, a lot of villains are being pulled in as well. All trying to figure out why are things happening the way they are. Um, I think they were seeking Sinister because so that they can learn where Apocalypse is, because I think they can figure out how to save Xavier through Apocalypse's what's it called, his technology. I loved this stuff way back then. The way they used to advertise the books that they were available for sale, I think they were really nice. I really enjoyed some of this stuff, by the way. Brings back a lot of excitement. All right, so what happens is that Cyclops and Jean Grey, they are defeated and, so to say, kidnapped, or not kidnapped, but taken away. And that's when they meet Strife. Allow me to introduce myself, X-Men. I am Strife, the crown prince of mutant kind, and you, the king and queen of what is to come. Father, mother, welcome to the end of tomorrow. Of course, at this point, Jean Grey and Cyclops have no clue what's happening and why is he after him and all that. Really nice Spider-Man illustrations, by the way. This Spider-Man special edition is not for sale. Oh, wow. But it can be yours. Okay, anyways. So, the fight continues until it reaches a point where it stops, and then the X-Force are basically imprisoned. And then, it's all a matter of, okay, what happens now? So that will take me to the next book. Let's move on to the next book. I'm just gonna put this card in here. Let's move on to book number 5. Here we go. This is book number 5. Okay. Executioner Song, The Uncanny X-Men, issue number 295. Okay. So at 295, we are down to part 5 of the Executioner Song. It looks like a very interesting cover where Apocalypse is supposedly beaten up. And of course, I've got the card in here. Bishop and Wolverine, they're the hunter. Hunters born and bred in a world too weak for them. They catch the scent of trouble and think they know the intent of the prey. One born to the pains of the past, the other to those of the future. So, let the pawns sniff the rotted wood for maggots. Let them catch the scent. They will whatever. Okay, so let's move on to the book itself. This is the point where do they? Yes, they actually do encounter Apocalypse in this one. There's a look at that. That's a rather interesting pose. This page is kind of, it's a little amusing actually, the way he's folded his arms and it's all the way up like that. And we are here in search of our comrades. We have reason to believe you know where they are. And don't think that sickly complexion of yours means we're going to take it easy on you. Believe me, children, I would have it no other way. It's so funny that Apocalypse calls them out as children or child, or as if they, although they're all adults, but just because he's been around for many years, centuries if not more, that they will call him out like that. But anyways, I think what happens is they're just trying to gain some knowledge, and Apocalypse, he himself does not know what's really happening or why things are happening the way they are. So that's what it is. Check this out, Hero Quest. Isn't that kind of cool looking? Such a nice ad over here. Okay, continue to move on. They're trying to get information. Bottom line is they're trying to find Cable because. Oh yeah, I have actually not seen this movie. I probably should. Candyman. I've heard about it for a lot. I've still not seen this one, so maybe I should watch that. It's a horror movie, of course. Okay. Some very interesting illustrations of vines and hands going all over Jean Grey's body, subduing her. Okay, maybe Strife is into this sort of stuff. But ultimately, they slowly and steadily try to find who, the presence of Strife and trying to figure out what's happening. Of course, Cable is doing his own investigation, and then the question was, well, why were you trying to run if you were innocent? But the thing is that Cable is not the type of guy who sits around for and provides explanation. And at this point, these two have found him, so they're like, "You!" Both of them are singing it at the same time in choir. You! All right, it's going to be one of those days, and of course, Cable is ready to take them on, so no big deal. But it's interesting how they've written these stories as well. What is this? Is this X-Men Monopoly? No, it's not. It's something that maybe I might want to look into this one. Okay. Anyways, let's move on to the next story now. The next book. I'm just gonna put this card in here, and I'll pack these books later. But let me check this cover out. Now, this is a really cool looking cover, right? Is this Jay Lee? Yes, it is Jay Lee. I saw his signature right over there, Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee. Executioner's Notes. Beyond Video, the new... What's this? Dragon Quest? Okay. But let me first get through the trading card first. This is a trading card. Prey, Polaris, and Havoc. Guilt by association. That has always been their clarion call. Never willing to fully participate in the games of the atom. Oh my God. They have nonetheless been dragged kicking and screaming into the nuclear fires time and again. They are but second tier of the mutant salvation. They watch the first in acknowledged admiration and muted jealousy. Jeez, does Havoc hate Cyclops, I wonder? Let their wills be forged in the stoking flames of Armageddon. Then we will see what brotherhood is made of, in more ways than one. A lot of heavy words happening over there. Oh my God. Anyways, that's good. So this is the one in which Xavier and... Look at this. Oh, what an opening to the book. This guy Jay Lee uses a lot of black ink in his illustrations. But they're still very cool, no doubt about it. He's got a very cool art style. And interesting, his faces tend to project outward that way as well. But, you can see some very expressive panels right over there. Cable, actually looking old, which is impressive. I am not Kid. I am Bishop. He's actually screaming it. And if you knew anything of me, then you would know that shooting me with an energy weapon is the last thing you would want to do. Oh my God. Look at these dialogues, man. Look at these dialogues. It's something, man. Look at the way they're talking to each other. I don't think they do it now like this, but still. Now, check this out, for example. All right. Come on. Take your shot. You think leaving me in darkness for hours is going to bother me or even slow me down? I hear you scuttling around like the rats you are. Come on then, I'm ready, more than ready. Like, okay, just say it. Like, I'll take you all down, even if I have to level this place. I'm not afraid of you. Jean's not afraid of you. The only one stinking of fear in here is you. Yeah! He's like screaming like that. Jean! Oh! Welcome back, Sprung Boy. How are you doing? Okay, let's continue. Wait, is he biting his arm? No. Okay. Anyways. Oh, barf. Is he saying barf? Yeah, somebody's actually barfing. Oh no, she's actually saying, "Oh, barf!" Like seriously, some of these dialogues are so hilarious. I swear. Check this out. We saw you, murderer. I do not want your lies. I want your confession, and then I want your head. Well, if you saw him, then that means, as far as your eyes are concerned, he is the one. So why do you need his confession? And look at this. I'm afraid you're going to come up empty on both counts, Chief. Oh, I mean, I'm not making fun, but it is funny. But especially since they're being so overly dramatic about it. Ooh, what's this? Did he actually? So he's about to. So okay, check this out. Come on, if you're that sure of yourself, then stop me once and for all. Might be your only chance. Just keep in mind that if I'm telling the truth, then someone's playing you for a fool. And look at that. What did he do? Retracted your claws? Okay. Why? Because you wanted to see if I flinched? No, I didn't need him. So, anyways, at this point, check this out. Gotta give him the benefit of the doubt for now. Oh, do you? Well, I do not. You should really switch to decaf. Listen to the man, Bish. It couldn't hurt. Bish. Seriously? His name is Bishop. Bish. People have been coming in and out, Sprung Boy, so don't worry. Okay, so anyways, then they determined that they're gonna give him a chance, and they're gonna see well, they're gonna try to get his side of the story. Stumble Guys, I've played a little bit of it, but I don't know if I'm really into some of those type of games. But I'm sure they're very popular. All right, Execution Song Part 7, X-Men. This is Andy Kubert. He's got great art. And let's just, before we go on, let's of course pull out the card. So this is, what is this? MLF Hunter. What is the Mutant Liberation Force? Was that what they are? Check this out. I have gathered this unit from the corners of the earth, coerced, cajoled, and connived to have them believe in a cause which meant nothing to me. My goodness. My goodness. I will consider Stumble Guys at some point in time. I do believe that my hardware should be able to support live streaming, so definitely. Okay, so the mystery is still unraveling. Wolverine and Bishop and Cable have sort of set up a sort of a truce for now, but it gives them the opportunity to actually investigate. And then they go out, they're digging for clues, and ultimately, even I think Beast is able to discover something about the attack on Xavier. Anyways, Strife is trying his best to break, these two guys. But there's he's basically telling them some history about why the what, and the Dark Riders, I presume. That's how it is. Okay, let's continue. I'm not going to be able to go through the details of this one, but I think, is this Apocalypse? Yes, check this out, guys. So, come out, Time Walker. Come to me now. Excuse me. Oh my god, I'm coughing. Uncertain, unknowing, weak, childlike. Come to me as I came to you, a babe with the need for succor. Oh my god, come to me. Apocalypse. Who are you? And so on. I am Strife, remember it, for that is the name of the man who is going to kill you. My gosh. Seriously, it's enjoyable. I will say. I mean, comes across as a little humorous, a little bit funny, but it is enjoyable. So I would suggest that if you could do read the storyline. The Executioner song is actually a very, uh, um, historic and a massive X-Men event. So this is the story, excuse me, in which Strife fights Apocalypse. Here's the card that comes with it. Prey, Mr. Sinister. Apparently he's turning him into a prey as well. And there's some details in the back over there. Alright, let's quickly swim through this one because I think the video has gone on for a long time. I don't want to keep it that long, but Cable, Wolverine, and Bishop are working together to try to figure things out. Excuse me. I think I'm gonna have to take a water break. I'm sorry, I'm not going through the details, but you get it. The story continues. Part 8. Alright, now, this is part 9 of the story. I made a song called Echoes of Strength. Please do send me the link. I'd like to listen to that song. Echoes of Strength. Prey, Jean Grey, and Cyclops, well, they've been captured by Strife since the beginning. And at this point, what happens is, I think there's a sort of an artificial... Oh, guys, check this out. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Hyperstone. Isn't this such a cool looking ad? Even today, I have not read all these details. Even today. So maybe I should. It's about time, right? If not now, then when? Right? Okay, at this point, there is some details being revealed about Jean Grey's and Cyclops' baby, and that they needed to be sent to the future so that they can save him from the technovirus. This is actually an artificial. It's not the real baby, but it was just to play mind games with the Cyclops and Jean. Because you must understand the genetic strife is actually... let me tell you by the end of the story, actually. They get pulled out into space. There you go. Look at that. Okay. Why did it pause? It should not be paused. It should still be going on. The stream should still be active. Okay. So, part 10 of the Executioner song, Jay Lee. Yes, that was Wolverine in the previous book. Here's the what is this? The Hunter Strike card. Okay, that's the Dark Riders. It's just a team who's been deployed to, chase mutants and stuff like that. Okay, but in this book, so hey, look, they're in space, and look, it looks like Jean Grey is doing the ballet over there. Doesn't it? What is she doing? Is she doing the ballet over there? But some very cool art. Look at the way this whole book is illustrated. Yes, Sprung Boy, it is a comic book. In fact, I've been going through the Executioner's song. It is the storyline that was of the X-Men that came out in the early 90s. So we're just going through all 12 books because this is actually a very interesting storyline. So, yes, Furkan, I know. And so, I like to talk about stories that are actually worth the, spending money on. Because even now, these books will cost you $3 to $5. So if you're spending $30 to $50 on these stories, the question is it worth it or not? So, but this storyline is certainly worth it. It's very enjoyable. It's peak 90s X-Men. You'll see a lot of machoism with the guys, and you'll see a lot of... well, the ladies are super good looking, or at least the way they've been illustrated. But at this part of the story, really what's happening is that the mystery is being resolved and Professor X is about to be saved. Yeah, but when you're spending $30 to $50 on just one storyline, that is still a lot, right? I mean, think about it. You can subscribe to streaming channels, like Netflix, Hulu, Friendly TV, for about $7, $8, $9, right? And they'll give you a service for the entire month. So there's that. The critics are hooked. Hook, Super Nintendo. Pretty cool. I think we're down to 2 more books, so I should be able to get you. All right. All right, hold on. Let me get to the second last book. Sorry, here comes the second last book right over here. Okay, The Executioner's Song. Right. Hopefully you're feeling better, because I heard that maybe yesterday you were not feeling so good. All right, this is the card that comes into it. Hunter, Archangel. Angel, of course, has been changed by Apocalypse. So, which Warren Worthington will come out to play tonight? Upright and moral protector of Mutikind, or self-deluded avenging angel of death? Good to know that you're feeling better. Okay, so the story is nearing its end. At this point, the X-Men and pretty much all the X teams are starting to unite, and they are going to go to the moon to beat Strife. Now they know who the real villain is behind the attempted murder of Professor X. I'm just wondering, did Professor X get cured by this time or not? I'm not sure. Maybe not. But Strife is feeling the heat now. They're going to be attacking his base. Jean Grey and Scott Summers are starting to put up a fight as well. Oops, I skipped a couple of pages. And looks like Apocalypse is engaged in that fight to some degree as well. So it's quite fascinating that so many characters are involved in this storyline. I'm impressed that they were able to put it all together. And then in the final book, they do go to the moon, to Strife's base of operations, which is right over here. And at this point, it is revealed that Strife is actually a clone of Cable. You're not feeling good for 15 minutes. Okay. So yes, in this, Strife is actually a clone of Cable. So he was the one who tried to kill the professor, and because he has Cable's face, so it all kind of made sense. And this is the last trading card from this book, Strife, Hunter. Let's see what Mr. Strife has to say about himself. The final move. White King against Black King, yet here nothing but gray reigns supreme. Shades of gray, of uncertainty, insecurity, confusion, anger, love, and hate. Shades of me, shades of you, shades of them. Let the final moves be made. Let time determine the righteousness of my path. Oh my God. I did it for only 2 reasons. I did it because I hate you all, and I did it ultimately because I hate myself. Tomorrow I will know I was right or wrong. He's basically talking to Cable over here. Clearly there was no love in this entire equation. It was all hate for his parents. What are you talking about? I was reading the card. Sprung boy. What are you doing? Anyways, check it out. Look at Cable holding his huge cannon, gun or whatever. Strife! Time's up. Oh my God. This is the culmination of the entire storyline. At this point, it's Cable versus Strife. It was a pretty violent battle, so I will say that was very interesting. No, I'm talking about the comic book, Sprung Boy. What are you saying? I'm talking about the comic book. Okay, we're seeing Cable getting beaten up. Look at that. He's getting so beaten up, his clothes are tearing up to shreds. Look at what this guy is saying to him. Look, he says, apparently he's struggling, right? Because he's taking this huge energy hit. I hear you, Strife. And it's not enough to put me down. So look at this. Look at you, Askani-san. A toy. A shell of a human. Look at yourself and tell us all. How can you pretend to be a man? Oh my god. Jeez. Isn't it so dramatic the way they do all these dialogues? It's so dramatic, I swear. But if you must, if you're a teenager reading this book, I guess this all sounds and looks really cool, right? There's Cable. Why am I so... No, this is not Cable, sorry, this is Strife. This is Strife. You can see he's getting badly beaten up. Look at me with pleading eyes. Ask me for help. Ask me to be your salvation. Ask me. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. It's so funny, but it's so cool. It's still so cool. Jeez, he just seems to be looking weirder and weirder at this point. You'll know, Summers. Believe me, you'll know. Oh, I think this is a point in which Cable sort of kind of sacrifices himself in this fight. Auto destruct sequence activated. T minus 25 seconds. Did you see? He activated a self-destruct sequence. T minus 15 seconds. But what does this device he gave me have to do with either the time flux or his self-destruct? Unless Cable wants the three to work in unison. T minus 10 seconds. Summers! But if I do what he wants and activate this, it's going to kill him, isn't it? T minus 5 seconds. Cable! Don't ask me to do this. Hit it! Self-destruct. Engage. And Summers! Activate the vortex! Scott, I can't do this to them. Scotty, if you don't, we may just all end up dying. Summers, for all our sakes, do it! And then check this out, please. Jeez Louise. God forgive me. Boom! He wasn't afraid. He knew this was right. So I let him go again. Cable. And of course, the island destructs. The base is destroyed. Things are resolved. These two are a little emotional. We get a hip scene of Jean Grey over here. We had to sacrifice him a second time. Scott, no, you don't think... I don't know, Jean. I don't know if we'll ever be sure. Oh my god, it's so funny. And so that the book ends on this point. And what is the end? We're just seeing, I think, Sinister up to some no good. And a new chorus begins. And that's how this book ends. So isn't that kind of cool? Alright, so what I want to do is, before I wrap it up, I do want to do one thing which I've always done, is just to do a sort of a display of all the covers. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to move my broadcast to this side. And I want to I'll just use this sheet, it's okay. So I'm going to show you what all these books look like when they're lined up. So you have book number 1, okay, and you've got book number 2. I'm just going to showcase all. I think we can just do rows of 6 will be fine, I suppose. 3, 4, 5. Let's move this up a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So here I've lined up all these books for you to take a closer sort of a look at what they look like. Alright, so here's book 1. This is, I'm just showing you all the covers because they do look like really nice covers. This is a very nice cover. This is all right. Three, book three, cool cover. 4, 5. This cover is super cool. X Factor. Book number, part number 6. And let's move on to 7 here. 8. Yep, we're going to go all the way till 12. 9. 10. 11. And book 12. You can see the final chapter! Yeah. So this is what these books look like. Aren't they looking really cool looking? You should be able to find all these books in any local comic book store. They're usually available in, easily available. And you should be able to find them for a couple of dollars only. I don't think you'd have to pay more than $5. I would say you can probably get them in the dollar box and the $3 box as well. So you should be able to find them in that range. Any comic book store near you, Sprung Boy. Any comic book stores near you, you should be able to find these books. The only thing is that they are 12 parts. So if you're not finding a part in one of the stores, you'll probably have to go to the other store. And they'll probably sell you graphic novels as well. But I actually like the individual books. They're just easier to read. Sprung Boy, you'll find them in any comic book stores near your place. So just do Google Maps and check to see if there is a comic book store near your house. And you should be. I don't know, Knickerblocker. I don't know about that. What is that? Tell me, please. What's Knickerblocker? I don't know what that is. But anyways, definitely a good read. What I also want to show you is an example of the packing that came in. So I'll just be able to pull up. This is the sort of packing material it comes in. All right. So this book, whichever this one was, it was only for $3. A backing board, Executioner Song, and X-Men Crossover Saga. Plus, so Sprung Boy, just type down comic book store near me and you'll know. Plus an official Marvel trading card featuring Strife's strike file. So I just want to let you know about this book is that you probably will find versions that are not packed like this. So if you are interested in receiving the trading card, you'll want to go with the book that has this packaging. Otherwise, you will not get that trading card. Okay. Okay, folks. Thank you so much for joining in today. That is a wrap. I wanted to show you this really cool storyline of the X-Men. You will enjoy it. It is a story on its own, so although you'll find a lot of characters coming from different storybooks, you don't have to worry about who it is or why they are. There are elements that will indicate how they are related to each other, but the thing is that it's it's a very entertaining read, so you will have a good time with this one. Okay. Okay, we are actually down to 49 minutes, probably one of the longest live transmission that I've done. And I know there were a couple of folks who came in and out, but even if there's just a handful or less people, I'm more than happy to take you through a tour of these books because they're just interesting, they're fun to read, they're a nice thing to collect, and, just some additional information to look at. Yep, we're now hitting that 50-minute mark, so that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.